What's up, y'all? So y'all know I've been busy after the Olympics with so much stuff going on, so many opportunities, appearances, stuff that I'm very grateful for. And recently I was on the OG's podcast and they made a post saying, ask Olympic gold medalist Twenty anything. And we wasn't able to address y'all questions in the video because the conversation was just flowing so naturally, and before you know it, time had passed us by. So I'm doing a YouTube video to answer some of y'all questions from Instagram, and just so y'all can get the answers that y'all looking for. Somebody had recently asked a question, and I'm not gonna be able to put in everybody's Instagram name as the video goes on, but I'll try to put in some Instagram names so you can see who asked what question. I hate the way Instagram filter comments now, but someone literally just asked an interesting question that I wanted. Well, it wasn't interesting, but I wanted to start off with that question. Selfless Yana asked, did you always want this? And I would say no. I didn't know where my life would take me when it came to track and field. I just decided to go out there one day in 2009. It's like, I'm gonna have fun, made it to the Junior Olympics, set a national age record, and I just kept going back ever since. So I never imagined that I would be, receiving a key to the county, a key to the city, and things of that sort. But I would tell you how all that got started based on some of the other questions that I've seen. How old were you when you started track? 9 years old. How many years ago that was? Go to calculator. Woo! 15. 15. As you all know, born and raised from Miami, and someone asked me, how does it feel being from Miami and representing us so well? It feels amazing. It feels great, especially representing Miami Northwestern, to show people that other athletes come out of Miami Northwestern. Miami Northwestern produce great individuals, whether that's from football to track, to the G girls, to the nursing program. So many successful people come from Miami Northwestern, and I feel like Miami Northwestern is just but is mainly known for football. You had Teddy Bridgewater, Amari Cooper, so you had some greats that also came out there. But I represent Miami to the fullest. I don't care where I'm competing at. I'm gonna always throw up 305 where I'm gonna hit the dirt bike or mention something that relates back to Miami. I would say my biggest accomplishment in my track career so far was the 2024 season. I overcame adversity, came out with a gold medal, upgraded the 2 golds from world champs to an Olympic gold, which was such an amazing feeling, and I was able to do it alongside my teammates. And I learned a lot about myself this year and advocated for myself more when it came to my body and speaking up and saying what I need and what I didn't need. So I would definitely say 2024 season as a whole was one of my biggest accomplishments. My experience at USC helped shape my professional career because it prepared me for the real world, having the different coaches that I had, a head coach, an assistant coach, and a different people that was involved with my track career at USC, from Coach Carroll to Coach Watts to Dunford, the athletic trainer. So there were so many people that played a role. I would say it taught me how to build a system and work with that system where everybody be on the same page, know how to communicate with this person, that person. Because I feel like sometimes I may have talk to Coach Watts before I talk to Coach Carroll about something, or I'll talk to Coach Carroll and do this with Coach Carroll, have Coach Carroll in my practice, but then I'll go to talk to Coach Watts about nutrition. So I knew the importance of dealing with other people, and especially when other people have their expertise, because we don't know everything. We tend to act like we know everything, but we don't. So just bringing in other people to allow them to help me achieve my goals. And then the work at USC. USC was hard for no reason. Like, why is we A minus, B plus? Like, baby, just give me an A or a B. So, just those small things, you knew you had to work hard. Nothing was going to be given to you. USC professors not just going to give it to you. You had some professors that didn't even like athletes, and they would tell you that right off rip. I don't want no athletes in my class. It's like, but dang, your class is a requirement. So, I would definitely say USC had its perks. Favorite Olympian I met in Paris? I don't know. I met so many people, but I think I wouldn't say starstruck, but meeting Coco and she knew who I was definitely a great feeling, because it's like, hey, I'm TeeTee. She's like, girl, I know who you is. And I'm like, you know me? Like, I don't know. I just be so surprised at certain people saying that they know me, and I be acting like I'm not TeeTee Terry. How did I meet Melissa? So I met Melissa 2022 year. So I'm always big in track. At one point, I used to always be tweeting and live interacting with some of my followers about NCAAs and stuff like that. So it was USA's 2022. And Melissa spoke to me, but I think it was 2022. She spoke to me, but I didn't know that was her. So I had told somebody else about the interaction at the time. They was like, oh, that's Melissa. And I was like, oh, snap. I didn't even realize like that was her. So I went and wrote her on Twitter because I was like, oh, snap. I didn't know that was you that spoke to me. I didn't recognize you because she had a different hairstyle. And I didn't race against her collegiately. So at the time I saw her, I was pro. And then, 2022 season happened. She won USA's, and we had to go to relay camp, and she was out in relay camp basically by herself. I was there with my coach and some of the other athletes from the team, from my group that was also at relay camp that year. And I noticed she was always by herself, and I was like, oh, well, let's go do this or let's go do that. Or do you want to come with us, or you want to do this or that? I kind of like just tagged her along with our group so she didn't have to be by herself. And I know she may have been in the process of going professional, so she probably was in like the midst of signing her contract and stuff like that. And we went somewhere, and I just paid for the food and stuff because I'm like, I know how I feel coming out of, well, I don't, let me not say I know how it feels, but based off like stories I heard of like people as smarter D1s compared to me at USC, where I'm getting a stipend, I'm getting this, I'm getting that. I have money to do certain things. Not saying she didn't have money at the time because I didn't know her like that, but I know she experienced a smaller school, so she didn't have the same perks as USC. So me already being in my first year professional, I just went ahead and covered our bill without her asking or anything when we went and ate. And then we kind of just kept ties from the 2022, We was on the same relay 2022, both was rookie in Oregon, won the gold medal. Then 2023 came and kind of the same, invited her with us. And then there was always speaking to her from there on now. And she traveled by herself. So it was always like she was an honorary member of the block. And then when things happened where her coach was leaving and stuff like that, I just talked to her and was like, hey, well, if you ever want to come, the block is always open for you. We just waiting on you to make the call. But I never like pressured her coming into the block. And then we just really got close once she joined the block. And it just been locked in ever since. That's Thelma, and I'm Louise. If you know, you know. Let's see. Am I talented in other sports? I did not do in other sport. Track and field is the only sport I did. My mom was scared to even put me in track and field because I'm asthmatic. When I was younger, my asthma was very bad. Like, I used to travel with a breathing machine to the Junior Olympics and different meets. I used to like be not barking obviously like a dog, but I used to be, you know how y'all know folks be like, stop all that barking, or like you barking like the coughing. But it was like, it wasn't really a cough, it was like a deep, like it came from the soul, and it was like but like I can't do it now because I'm not having asthma situations right now, and my teammates used to love when I do it. But I was really going through stuff asthmatic, and I'm just not really realizing the severity of the situation at that time. So I definitely have to travel with the breathing machine and all that. My favorite cheat meal, I don't know what my favorite cheat meal will be, because once I'm locked in, I'm locked in. My cheat meal, I don't think it's really like a cheat meal. It'll be salmon or something like, or something. I don't really eat fried food really in the season or so. But if I do cheat, I'll probably get fried fish or something like that maybe, if I was to cheat. So someone asked me about my 2 ponytails, about my hair being long, and like even in the blocks it touches the track and stuff like that. Do I feel it, and does it affect my racing in any way? No, my hair don't feel heavy at all. I don't even feel it when I'm running really. The only thing I'll feel is if my ponytails are off balance, if one is higher than the other or one tighter than the other, I'll feel that. But when I'm racing, I don't feel none of that. It don't hold me back. Like, there have been pictures in the 4x1 where my hair is literally in my face while I'm running down track. I don't feel that during the actual race. Like, I don't even see that until I look at pictures. I'm like, oh, that happened? I didn't even know my hair flew in my face. So no, it doesn't affect me negatively at all, because if it was too heavy, trust me, I would not be running with 2 ponytails at all. And I've been wearing 2 ponytails since my junior year of high school. Yeah, because my freshman year, I had braids, 2 braids going black. I had my hair the way I wear it in 2 ponytails, but instead of 2 ponytails, I had it braided back. And then I started embracing my 2 ponytails. What advice do you give other athletes regarding social media? Do you ignore the negative comments you see from fans of athletes from other countries? So when it comes to social media, I say you can't let what the people say on social media get to you, because they're looking outside in. They don't know what you're going through at practice. They don't know the injuries and stuff you may be dealing with, or the personal stuff in your in your life that you can be dealing with. So they just seeing the exterior. They just seeing that you ran such and such last year, or you did this earlier in the season, so you should be doing it again or even better. You can't let them take you out of your zone based off what they're saying when you know they don't even know the full truth. And sometimes give yourself a break for social media, or mute certain words on social media, like mute track if you're tired of seeing track or this and that, or just mute certain people. You know, if you want to block them. I'm not a big blocker, but yeah, just mute certain words or mute certain people and just let them be. I actually take breaks from social media here and there. And before Olympic trials, I took a break from social media. I didn't get on social media like a little before Olympic trials and after Olympic trials, or during Olympic trials. After I completed my job, then I got on a little bit. But if I would have got on there and saw the stuff that was said about me through the rounds, it probably would have affected me. It may have not affected me 100%, but it would have affected me to an extent. And I'm grateful that I took that step back from social media, because once I did get back on social media, I didn't go looking for the comments. I just end up seeing them, because y'all know Twitter. If you follow this person, but this person liked somebody else tweet, or they quoted somebody else tweet, you're going to see it on your feed. And that's what happened with me. Somebody mentioned about I wasn't going to make it out the heats based on the way that I was running, and someone that I follow or normally see their tweets quoted it or said something about it or whatever. But luckily I didn't see all that until I made the team. So yeah, I would definitely say take a break from it if you need it. Social media gonna be there when you get back. Don't nothing really even be going on social media that's worth being on it 24/7 every single day. When you come back, you gonna see that same stuff that been sitting there. You gonna be like, oh, this is all I missed. So yeah, take your break. And the other part was, do I ignore the negative comments? Yeah, I ignore majority of them, and some of them fuel me actually. Like some of them, I remember someone said something about that I'm just a relay runner or something like that, and I know I'm more than a relay runner, but I get why they said what they said, because I didn't put the race together in the times that I needed to put the races together. But I'm more than a relay runner. I'm not just a relay runner, baby. Like, I've done stuff before professional that shows I'm more than a relay runner. I just got to put together when I need to put it together. But I proved that 2024 this year that I'm more than a relay runner. I can make the final on my own and place top 5 in the world on my own. So yeah, some of it fueled me, and I appreciate some of the comments, because all the time when fans say negative stuff, like we see that's negative, because sometimes it do be negative, but some of them don't be malicious with it, if that makes sense. Like, yeah, they been negative, but it's like coming from the standpoint of like fans, like football fans. You know how they'll be like talking about players, and it could be their favorite team, and they talk about the player, but then when the player do good, they support them, but they also support them while they being negative, but just voicing their concern or whatever it is. But you just have to be strong-minded to not let it interfere with you in a way that's going to throw you off track. Yeah. Let's see. Did you have to work your way into being fast, or are you naturally fast? I think both. I was naturally born with certain genetics. You know, my coach always tell me, you got so much fast twitch, you can do this, you can do that fast, where some people have to work, where some people have to build up to do some of the things that I'm able to do naturally. But then over time, I have worked hard to increase my speed and become faster on each level. You know, high school level, I was running a certain time. Then I went to college, did things technically sound, and was able to do that and got faster there. And now I'm being even more technically sound and paying attention to the even smaller details to even make myself more faster. So I would say it's definitely a mixture of both. What are some encouraging things or tips you would give someone that wants to start back sprinting? I would definitely say, first off, make sure it's something that you want to do. Not because your mom telling you to do it, your dad telling you to do it, your cousin telling you to do it, a coach telling you to do it, make sure you want to do it, because you don't want to have to go out there and train. You have to put your body through that stuff, and you're going to have to make sacrifices and be disciplined. If it's not what you want to do, you're not going to be 100%, and you're going to be wasting your time. So as long as it's something you want to do, I would definitely say get back into it. Rely on your support system. Rely on other people that you know can speak life into you. You have to surround yourself with a good group of friends that's going to help you when you're down, because sometimes, you know, we're human, so we go through emotions. Some days we may be negative, some days we may be positive, you know, and on them days when you feel yourself being negative, you should have somebody in your corner that you can go to and tell them how you feel, and they be able to pour back into you, you know, let you know like, hey, well, just do it like this, or try this or try that, or how can I help you in this way or that way. That plays a huge role, and that can help you so much. Like I think we tend to underestimate the way other people can help us. Even if we tell them something and they say something simple back to us, it's just different hearing it from somebody else. I realized that with a lot of my stuff. Like, I could tell somebody something, they could be feed me back good information, and I'm just like, oh dang, I ain't think about it like that, or that's a good perspective. Like, okay, I get what you're saying, I just needed to hear it from somebody else. And when we hear a lot of things in third person, that helps us a lot, because it's like we hearing it, and it's like that person believe in me, that person has faith in me. Like, even when you don't have that confidence in yourself, just hearing it from one person can make a huge difference. So I would definitely say that. And feed yourself positive thoughts. Find affirmations that work for you, that you can repeat every day, and that can start to become a routine for you. It's like when you wake up in the morning, you go through all the affirmations while you're building your confidence back up and getting back into sprinting. Someone asked, what's the backstory behind the Motorbike Celebration? That's one of the top 2 celebrations in all sports. Started at Miami Northwestern with the football players, Ronald, and some other players. And I was like, if I go out there and win a title individually, I would do the Dirt Bike Celebration. 2019, I won the 60-meter indoor championship out of lane 1. Unexpectedly winning with the last time. Fall started that conference 2 weeks before, and I won. And I just saw my name on there. I felt I won, but then sitting on the thing made it even more official. And I was just hitting the dirt bike, and then the lady tried to get in my way, so I was dirt bike around her. She wasn't going to stop my celebration, and it just stuck ever since. So I was asked, as a former collegiate sprinter myself, how did you get out of your head when you said you couldn't break 11 flat? So for me, I had to talk to a lot of people. I had to assess what was going on and realize that the situation was mental. And I realized that the situation was mental because I was PRing every time I stepped on the track in the 200 in 2023. But when it came to the 100, I was just stuck. So I was like, it has to be mental, because it's not physical. Because how am I running the extra 100 meters and I'm PRing every time I step on the track? I think I ran the 200 6 times, and I PR'd 4 out of the 6 times, or 5 out of the 6 times. I started with 22.4 in LA, I think. 22.4, then I went 22.3 at trials. At championships. Then 22.3 in the semis. And then I went 22.1 in the final, and semi and final was in the same day. So obviously nothing physical is going on there, but I was approaching 200 in a way where I was just having more fun, because there wasn't expectations for me to do anything in the 200. Everybody was just expecting me to do things in the 100, and I put pressure on myself when it came to the 100. And then I started speaking to people. I started speaking to other people, getting perspectives from other people, letting them listen to the way that I was talking. And someone told me, take your butt out of your vocabulary. Don't use your butt, because your butt is diminishing your confidence. And I didn't realize that I was using your butt so much. Like, I would run a time or I would win. I'd be like, yeah, but it was windy, or yeah, but I didn't do this and that, which is taken away from the performance itself. And then I didn't realize that I was carrying a baggage of not making the team individually in 2023. And once I just let that go and forgave myself for not making the team, which was a little too late, I didn't do it until right before the Diamond League final. I went out there and ran 1083, which was not too far off my PR. My PR was 1082. So I knew I had it in me the whole time. It was just a mental block. So I got over it by talking to people. Let's see some other questions. How many days do you train a week, and what do you eat after your training? So I train Monday through Friday, and then once we get further in the season, we start training in some Saturdays. And then it depends on how travel goes. Because once you get further in the season, you know, you travel. Some days, some meets be on a Thursday, some be on a Sunday. So it all just depends with the meets overseas. What other competitions did you enjoy watching? So I love watching gymnastics, swimming, diving, Formula One. What else do I like? Soccer. I watch soccer here and there, but I'm not too big on soccer. And basketball. I was able to go to the women's gold medal match in Paris. I wasn't able to see any of the other sports in person due to my schedule and the schedule of the other sports, considering that I competed at the beginning of the Olympics for track and field and then at the ending for the 4x1. So I didn't have time to go out and explore and look at other competitions. When I officially became an Olympian, it felt surreal, you know, because I went from watching the Olympics on TV, on YouTube every single day, watching the 2012 Olympics, specifically the women's 4x1 at world record, to going to competing in the Olympics and being able to talk to some of the people that I looked up to. You know, spoke with Carmelita and she congratulated me on my season and stuff like that. You know, had talks with Bianca. So it's like, I really went from watching these people every day to competing in the Olympics, and people are watching me and looking up to me. So I would definitely say it's a full circle moment. But I don't think things really hit on me being an Olympian until like I got to Paris. I'm like, okay, I'm really here. And I'm like, I'm not just someone that just made the Olympic team and didn't make a final. Like, I actually made a final as well and placed top 5 in the world. And then went ahead and was able to help my teammates win gold in the 4x1. So it's kind of really settling in now too, with me doing appearances and going to talk to people, and people being so excited to see the gold medal and asking, can I see it, can I touch it, can I take a picture with it? So I definitely say full circle moment. Top 3 Miami Northwestern athletes ever. That is a hard question. Top 3, do you know how much comes out of Miami Northwestern? How can I limit it to top 3? You have Teddy, you have Brianna, you have Tiffany, you have Tutu, you have Amari. So many people. I'm not gonna answer that. I can't answer that. I cheer and support all Bulls. You're not gonna set me up with that question. I can't answer that one. That's hard. We want to know the type of sacrifices you made to get to your position, how you managed to financially support yourself through the process. So the sacrifice I made was giving up being able to go out with my friends and do certain things with my friends, having to turn down parties and stuff because I got practice, I got Saturday practice, I got this, I got that, dedicating my life to track. So it was so many sacrifices that came into play. And how did I manage to financially support myself? I didn't have to pay for anything when it came to track and field. I started at the recreational level. The most I did have to pay for, my parents had to pay for, was like your package, which included like your spikes and uniform and stuff like that. And then once I got to high school, that was the same thing. Once I got to college, they was paying me. They were paying me, baby. I was getting a monthly stipend from USC, which I saved up some of that money. So once I graduated, I was able to put my down payment for my car and things of that sort. I signed with Nike, so I was fortunate to be in a position where I didn't really have to support myself financially through this process. The most I had to do when it came to support myself financially was buying groceries or something to eat the way that I needed to eat at USC, you know, because we had access to the dining halls, but I did not spend time in them dining halls for real. If I did go, it was because I was bored or something, but I was normally cooking or paying my nutritionist to read certain things about my body, tell me what I'm lacking, what I'm missing. So besides that, I was grateful to not have to be in a position where I had to really come out of pocket to support myself in tracking.